Hey guys, welcome to another episode of One Oyster Plays. I'm Thomas, and tonight I have Ryan with me, and we are playing Xcom2, and we're going to discuss a couple of movies we watched, which are Masters of the Universe, Return to Oz, and The Void. So let's get started with Masters of the Universe.
What a shit heap. Like, what happened?
Yeah. I remember watching it when I was a kid,
and
it being really great. Because I always enjoyed the He-Man cartoons.
Right.
So I bought it, watched it again here a couple of months ago, and it was just, it does not.
It's awful.
It is pretty bad.
It's a canon film, so I think it was the tail end of their run.
Yeah, one of
canon,
the last few.
Yeah, they were like a movie studio that shoved out like a lot of like low budget action films, a lot of Chuck Norris movies,
Delta Force,
Invasion USA. I know they did some of the Death Note, God.
the Death Wish.
Death Wish, yeah, a little Charles Bronson in there. They got a decent budget for this one, for a canon movie, and decided to make Masters of the Universe, starring Dolph Lundgren and Frank Langella, Courtney Cox, and then a bunch of other people.
Billy Barty.
Billy Barty is in this as Gwildor.
Not Orcus.
Not Orcus.
Not Orcus.
There's no Battle Cat. There's no Lockjaw. Trapjaw. Guy.
There's two halves to Trapjaw. Either character could have been Trapjaw, but instead they went with, one was called, I think, Blade
and nameless lizard henchman that dies first.
Right.
So that was a thing. Dolph Lundgren as He-Man. He looks like He-Man.
He looks a lot.
I can say that.
And He-Man doesn't really need to talk a whole lot.
Yeah, they gave him too much dialogue.
He did have too much dialogue.
But like, he looks the part, but he couldn't talk at the time. Like, he didn't know English very well at the time this was made, and it really shows. Like,
his lines are pretty bad.
They're just awful. Like, some of them are just downright bad. It almost reminds me of spaghetti westerns, like Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. How they would like just say words and then they'd go back in and dub over it later on with the actual dialogue, and I feel like that's what they did with him.
Close, and then they just kind of forgot to go back in and dub over it.
Yeah.
Because they ran out of money.
Right.
And so they just kept his very heavy accent.
Right. Very, like, it's like he doesn't know how to emphasize the correct words. Like in English. I don't know, it's very weird. So, obviously the He-Man universe takes place in Eternia, which there's about 15 minutes worth in the actual movie.
Yes.
I kind of like the Eternia stuff. Like, it looks pretty good for like 80s.
Right, yeah.
Sort of
as far
sci-fi
as
fantasy stuff.
The world Eternia, I mean, it looked like a big rocky desert. They didn't have a whole lot there.
Right. Like Grayskull.
Grayskull looked pretty good.
Looks pretty good. I guess it's a model, or maybe it's a matte painting. I don't remember. The throne room, you know, it's a good set, but that's it. There's nothing else. Yeah. That's all that happens in Eternia, and you're in that throne room for 11 of those 15 minutes. So the rest of it takes place on Earth because they get that cosmic key.
Cosmic key.
It's like they land on Earth and they land in the jungle. Is what it kind of looks like. I think is what you said.
Yeah, it's very, because there was like the little swamp that Gwildor falls into.
Yeah.
But they were supposed to be in New Jersey or near New Jersey.
I guess.
Because Courtney Cox talked about New Jersey.
Yeah. They're not in a swamp. They're not in a jungle city, that's for sure.
Right. They were in the swamp that is New Jersey.
Like, just everything that happens in this, like, it just looks terrible. Like, once they get to Earth.
They should have just
go film in the desert.
Yeah, just do Eternia. Do it in the desert.
Yeah. Spend the rest of your, like, go film in the desert and spend, like, some of your budget building a couple extra sets or something in Eternia. But man. So He-Man is He-Man, but he's not He-Man.
He never does the transformation
Yeah.
from Prince Adam to He-Man that we see.
Right.
But now he's dressed the whole movie like He-Man.
Right. Yeah, so that's kind of weird.
But then at the end, when he says,
It was the whole I have the power.
I have the power, he does, like, why would he say it if he was already He-Man?
Right. Yeah, what's the point in that?
Yeah.
Like, what's the point in anything that goes on in this, like, Skeletor turning into Golden Skeletor?
Like, I don't remember that in the cartoon. So I don't know that it was an actual thing, but I can't imagine that it was.
Right. I think half of us watching this was just like, where's this from the cartoon? Or why didn't they have that in it?
Why didn't they have any of the villains except for Beastman?
Yeah, and
As far as the minions go.
God, I'm just disappointed in Beastman.
Beastman was the worst one.
Yeah. Like, ugh.
The David Bowie lizard.
Blade looks just awful.
It should have just been Trapjaw.
It should have been. And then, like, and not to say that, like, the heroes are any better. Like,
No.
Man at Arms, he has that stupid helmet with that
God, that chin strap.
just hanging there.
Put it on or take it off. Like, don't
Just
leave
take
it
out the helmet. Like, what do you need it for?
dangling.
The freaking robot henchmen can't hit anything, so you don't need head protection from them.
And
So,
there was, who was like Master at Arms' daughter? Tila?
Tila, I guess? That was his daughter?
I think so.
Really?
Because she does her little, after she comes out and shoots the guy. And
Oh,
she's
yeah.
a woman at arms.
Woman at Arms.
Stares right into the camera.
She's just she's just hanging out in this whole movie. Once they get to Earth, she's just kind of there.
Everybody was just kind of there.
She's like a second tier female lead. So
I would still say Billy Barty was the worst part of Earth.
he's just terrible.
It was,
They give him all the stupid shit to
yeah,
do.
he had all these lines talking about cosmic keys and how they work. His door had the little chain.
Oh, yeah. There's like 5 locks on it, and then he does like a little
The
latch,
little bitty latch
chain
thing.
latch. Like, what's that gonna do? Who's that stopping? I'm pretty sure Beastman would just bust right in there.
Well, they did like
Yeah, and even later they like
2
shoot.
seconds and they busted down
They
the
shoot it
door.
with the laser and it just explodes. So what was the point in all those fucking locks? Like, it's just the worst.
Yeah, but having him on Earth was just like everything. For someone who built a cosmic key,
Yeah.
he knew absolutely nothing about any other kind of technology.
So why are there 2 cosmic keys in this?
Well, there was the one that Gwildor had built
Right.
that Skeletor took.
So that was the actual one.
That was the final cosmic key.
Okay.
He had built a prototype,
Which was the one that
which was
they
the one
had.
that they had.
Okay.
But Skeletor didn't know about the prototype.
Yeah.
So I don't know why he was still trying to get
The other one? He wanted both cosmic keys.
But he didn't know about the other cosmic key.
Right.
Or did he know about it?
Well, eventually he does because it's
Right,
like,
yeah, because when they're in the throne room, they activate it.
Yeah.
And I think, and then like that's when he finds out that there were 2.
But I mean, it's not like you need both of them for one to work. Like,
No, because they were transporting the minions back and forth with just the one.
yeah. And like, they transport Evil Lyn and the little henchman guys. How do they get back? They don't have the cosmic key. Skeletor has the cosmic key. Or did they give him it? I don't remember. I feel like,
No, I feel like Skeletor had it the whole time.
yeah, just hung on.
Because like he sent the henchmen there to crash the prom, and then they come back.
Yeah.
But it's like, how do they get back to tell Skeletor
Right.
that they failed? And then he sends them back with Evil Lyn, and then that's when he shows up later on. And then they all, I guess, go back together.
Yeah. There's too much going to Earth.
There was way
Just
too much.
quit going to Earth. Like, just stop. Stay in Eternia. You don't need to go to Earth. That's
Yeah.
fine. I think I remember the first time I saw this, like, it was a little bit older, and it was on, like, Sunday afternoon. One of those movies.
Day like today.
I think it came on after Critters 2, if that tells you anything about the quality lineup that this channel had that day.
It's like, who set up that lineup? Like, we're gonna throw
Someone who hated their life.
some Critters 2, some Masters of the Universe.
It was like, it's entertainingly bad. Like,
Right.
Especially if you like appreciate film, you can kind of watch it and be like, oh, that's funny, I hate that, or whatever. What about Courtney Cox's parents?
There's so much confusion, like, because the movie starts and they're already dead.
Right.
She goes to their grave. But then they go to Eternity at the end, and Gwildor sends them back.
Yeah.
And she starts to tell him at the end to send them back, like, before it all happened.
Yeah.
The plane crash. But, like, she doesn't get to tell him, and he sends her, like, they were already on their way back.
Yeah.
But still, Gwildor knew to send her back before her parents died.
Which, how did he know that?
He had no knowledge. Even Lynn knew about it, and that was it. So they send her back to what looked like the 70s compared to, like, the pajamas she was wearing.
But it's like it was the same day.
But it's like, yeah, like, because Corrigan was wearing the stuff he left Eternia in.
Yeah.
But she's wearing
She's
pajamas.
like, yeah, so
And there's just
maybe Billy Barty.
Billy Barty.
Billy Barty, like, got her there and, like changed her or something. Little creepy, like, wizard, just like,
Right.
I'm well done. But, yeah, that's really weird.
Yeah,
like,
there's no consistency on the timeline.
I think what happened is they left that morning, got into the crash, they recovered the bodies,
Buried
like,
them.
buried them, and then she went to work. Like, she moved on really fast.
Bob's Ribs. To move to New Jersey or move away from New Jersey.
Somewhere. Like, this movie's a mess. It's a mess, but it's like, it's fun to watch. It's a fun mess to watch.
Yeah, like,
Especially whenever you have like a decent, like a couple of people, like a little crowd or something watching it. I don't know what the fuck they were thinking with that.
I mean, other than Frank Langella, like,
yeah.
Dolph Lundgren
It's killing time.
did all right when he wasn't talking and just trying to do the sword fighting, which the sword fighting was terrible.
All 2 minutes of it.
Yeah, it was just super close up.
Especially the fight at the end, where it's like the lights are out.
All the lights gone.
And they're just
Everyone's gone out of the throne room.
Yeah.
It's just them fighting.
I like how after that, like, they have a little scene where, like, the lights come back on to kind of, like, cover up the fact that they just
Right.
ran out and shot it.
It's like, it doesn't make sense how any of that happened.
I'm thinking with this, they Canon wanted to kind of cash in on, like, a Star Wars type movie because, like, it's that mix of sci-fi fantasy. It's
Right.
got, like, the, you know, Skeletor's like the evil emperor kind of thing, and
Well, at one point, they was playing very similar to, like, Darth Vader's Imperial March.
yeah, that wasn't like during the opening part of it.
I think so, yeah.
And then like his henchmen are all like, of course they're all dressed in black as opposed to like the white of the stormtroopers, but it's still kind of the same concept.
Right.
Like, big cosmic battle, blah blah blah.
But they couldn't see out of their little visors.
Yeah. How the fuck are you supposed to shoot something whenever you can't see?
Well, that's why they always miss.
So, yeah, that's Masters of the Universe.
Yeah, it's,
Just watch the cartoon. Just watch the cartoon on Netflix.
cartoon's a lot better.
Yeah, like, if you have, like, a group that likes to watch bad movies, like, you could watch Masters of the Universe then.
Right.
That's what I would say. Stick
Stick to He-Man. Get a good 30-minute show and a little life lesson at the end about not cutting corners.
Well, there's a lot of life lessons about not cutting corners from this movie.
Yeah, this is what happens when you do cut the corners. You end up with Masters of the Universe.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Firuza Balk was like 11.
Yeah.
So how
Oh, she was that
old
old?
she is? I think so, like 11.
I thought she was like 8 or so.
She might have been 8. I don't know.
But it's weird, like, why make a sequel to The Wizard of Oz, like, almost, 50 years later?
Well, I mean, they were based on books. So this one was like following the books more than
Yeah.
the one in the 30s.
Right.
But
It's an interesting sequel to it. Like,
it's a lot darker.
yeah.
A lot darker than.
And like I want to say, like, Disney bought the rights to everything but the actual Wizard of Oz book that the old MGM movie's based off of. So they couldn't use the Emerald City. That's why you never really. It doesn't look like the Emerald City.
Right.
You obviously can't use any of the stuff
like
from it.
hints of green in the stone and stuff, but it was.
And of course, like
Destroyed.
all the Scarecrow and the Lion and the Tin Man, like they're in it, but they're they look so different. That,
Yeah, the Tin Man for sure looked a whole lot different. The Scarecrow's got like the creepy smile the whole time, and then the Lion was just a lion. Like,
yeah.
when she's riding
It
it
looks
at the
kind of
end, it
depressed.
looks like a guy.
Yeah.
like crawling on.
It
all
probably
fours.
is. It's probably like two guys like strapped together in this convoluted.
Human centipede type situation.
Yeah, exactly. So it starts out. It's like 6 or 8 months after
I think
the events of the original.
I think they said 6 months since the tornado.
Right. And they think Dorothy's crazy because of all this stuff she's
Yeah,
talking
she won't
about.
stop talking about Oz
Yeah.
and all of her friends. So, back in, what would they say, that it was 1899?
Yeah, because it was like right before the 20th century.
20th century, they decide the best way to treat that for an 8 to 11-year-old girl is electroshock therapy.
Yeah.
So,
I like how like they're giving Dorothy Gale electrical shock therapy. Like that's an interesting way to take your protagonist.
right.
So yeah, they do that, and right as she's about to get they take her to this like almost asylum type place.
Yeah, it was very asylum-like.
And there's like the guy like rolling the bed around, and it's got the creaky wheel.
Right.
It had a lot of the same stuff from the first movie where like things would influence
Yeah,
her
things you
trip to Oz.
see
Yeah.
in Kansas go over and they're in Oz.
Right.
It's like the pumpkin.
Oh yeah, that's right. The little girl gives her
Yeah.
the pumpkin randomly, and the squeaky wheel on the bed is like the Wheelers.
The
And,
Wheelers.
the nurse lady turns out to be Mombi, the
Yeah.
witch that switches her heads around or something.
Queen Mombi? No, she wasn't Queen.
I'll give it a princess.
Princess Mombi.
Oh.
Which I think, wasn't that Jean Marsh
It might have been. I wasn't really sure.
Or
She looked really familiar.
before she became Queen Bavmorda?
Yeah.
She was Princess
Yeah.
Mombi.
She was in everything, like, in the 80s. All these movies.
But TikTok was the electroshock machine.
Yeah.
Comes to help her out.
And then they meet... What was it? Jack?
Jack Skellington?
Yeah, it was pretty much Jack Skellington.
It was exactly Jack Skellington.
Like, if they ever make a live-action Nightmare Before Christmas, like, that's Jack Skellington.
Yeah,
right
they've
there.
got Jack
Like,
Skellington.
Yeah. You don't need to do it. You don't need to do CG either. You could just do whatever they did in that. Like,
Dig
it
up
looks
the old
great.
costume. I'm sure it's
Yeah.
still around.
Then they make the Gump.
The Gump, which I don't understand the Gump at all. Like, I don't remember seeing it in Kansas.
Nope.
It looked like an elk with like tiny antlers.
And then they just like put like the head on like these sofas,
Sofas.
and put some wings on it. And then like instead of Toto going, it's a chicken.
It's
a
the chicken,
hen,
and that
specifically.
chicken was. Everyone hated the chicken.
Everyone hated the chicken. That was the sassiest chicken ever.
Oh.
She had like all the little quips
Yeah.
throughout the whole thing. One of my favorite lines in a movie ever is from this movie. Whenever the little rock gnome guy like first sees him, and he's talking to the boss, and he's like, "She's here." Okay, and then he's kind of got this worried look on his face, and the gnome king's like, "What is it?" And he's like, "They brought a chicken, and freaks out. Oh, it's so
Sounds like
great.
the whole Pee Wee Herman where it shakes the camera
Yeah,
and everything,
yeah.
like everything's rattling, all because of this chicken that she brought.
And everyone was like, "You brought a chicken, and you can't have chickens." It was just so ridiculous.
Yeah, and it's like, oh man, the Wheelers in this though were, I think, by far the creepiest.
Yeah. Just like they had like those long
Yeah, like their arms are way too long, and then
Yeah.
they're like
I'm like
ice, like rollerblading, basically.
Yeah. I was like imagining like the people that they got for that, and like just them like trying to learn how to like do it. And then they had like those weird masks that they would roll around on, and
Right, yeah, because they're looking down the whole time.
and it sounded just like the creaky hospital gurneys from the earlier part of the movie, and that just kind of adds to it.
Yeah, that was probably one of those terrifying.
I guess like back whenever the original came out, people were terrified of the flying monkeys, so it kind of fits in with that. I
Yeah.
assume. The Princess Mombi with like her different
those
heads. I remember that as a kid. Like that was probably the part that freaked me out. Like whenever she goes to get the bring to life dust or whatever the hell that was, and then all the heads start screaming at her.
Yeah.
Like that's freaky.
There was a lot of, like, at least 30, because her head was in 31, where the dust was.
Yeah.
Just a bunch of... But I guess they didn't, like, their memories didn't cross over.
Right. I guess I've never paid attention to it before this viewing.
Yeah, like,
to
I was
that.
like, that's really
That is kind of weird.
weird.
So like the body. Well, I guess if you take the head, like the body's not going to remember. It doesn't have a brain.
Right.
And then just like the heads would know. But wouldn't they like talk to each other? Like, oh, you left Jack Skellington upstairs.
Right.
Like, maybe you should go check on him.
No, there should have been something. Like, she's a witch. But she can't figure out how to transfer memories from one head to the other.
Right. Other than that, did she even really have any like magical abilities? Like,
I don't think she did anything.
they say they took away her powers,
But
but
she never had any
she never
powers
like
really. In,
did anything. Yeah.
I mean, she had that dust, but they said that she bought that from
Yeah,
the magician.
exactly. Like, okay, but it's a good movie. It's like, it's a good like one of those dark fantasy '80s movies,
Right.
like Dark Crystal or Labyrinth was back in the day. Like, it's almost to that level. It's not quite, but it's
Yeah, not
almost
quite.
there.
But it's
It's a good
pretty
one.
good.
I like it. I've learned to like it more as an adult than I did whenever I was a kid. I remember it just freaking me out as a kid.
yeah.
I like the stop motion of the gnome creatures.
Yeah.
They're like coming through the wall.
All the rocks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
It's pretty good.
I'm not sure how I felt about the Gnome King
Yeah.
when he showed her that he had the ruby slippers
Yeah.
and that he was wearing the ruby slippers.
It's a little drag queenish.
Yeah,
kind of
and that
weird.
that was really weird. Like, why? I don't understand why he was wearing
I guess
them.
because you have to wear them, but like you're wearing like girls' shoes, kind of thing. Like
It was,
that was just strange.
yeah, it was really confusing.
I don't think I had noticed that before. Like whenever he's just like, hey, like he's got like a rock coat, and they're like down. It's like, oh, that's really strange. But I would say out of the two we watched, Return to Oz.
Yeah, Return to Oz is by far the better one.
It's kind of funny how there's like some parallels. Like obviously, Return to Oz, she goes to Oz, and then Master of the Universe, they go from the mystical place to Earth. But it's got kind of like there's like Beast Man and the Gump and the Lion and Skeletor and the Gnome. Like it's got some similarities, so it was kind of interesting.
Yeah, but I would say Return to Oz definitely did better as far as adding new characters.
For sure.
But I mean, other than the original, it just had the three,
Right.
and then I guess you could count the trees.
Yeah. And well, it expanded on the universe a little bit.
Yeah, there was a lot more of Oz than just the road
Uh-huh.
in this one, and the lunch pail trees.
Yeah. The Deadly Desert.
It's the deadly desert. Rip you up and throw you in the deadly desert.
It's good stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
So if you're on a desert island, gun to your head, whatever, and you have to pick one of these movies, watch Return to Oz. Don't watch this one.
Definitely Return to Oz.
Or if you're just a miserable person, just watch this and not this. I don't know. It's whatever you want to do.
Yeah, if you've got the abilities to cut scenes out, you could do Masters of the Universe and just stick with when they're in Eternia.
It'd be a nice short.
It would be.
You'd be like, why is there this like plot hole of them? Like, why is He-Man getting whipped after like this gunfight? But it's whatever.
how the cartoon was.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
He's always got to bust out with the power of friendship from Man at Arms.
Ryan, what did you think of The Void?
It was terrible enough that I wanted to turn it off, but just interesting enough to keep it going to see if anything would happen.
Yeah, it was just awful.
Yeah.
Just the worst. First off, let's say we both liked the creature effects in this.
That was the best part.
It was the best part.
Was the creature effects.
All practical stuff.
Yeah, no CGI.
Yeah. They tried to take the Alien approach where it's like keep it in the dark, in the shadows, in the smoke, like hide it with all this. But I feel like they did it wrong. Like lots of red lights. Like towards the end, it's like all red.
At the end, it was a lot of red light.
And then there's that beginning shot where like one of the nurse characters is like turned into like a thing, and you don't even know why. And it's like the lights flashing, and it's like you're almost gonna have a seizure.
There's a lot of you don't know why happening in this
I
movie.
don't know what the hell is going on in this movie. Okay, so enough positives. Let's. This was like every cliche horror movie ever made, aside from like masked serial killer. But I guess the cultists that they had were like masked or whatever.
Yeah, but they didn't the cultists didn't do anything.
Yeah.
The whole movie.
They just stood there and would like stab at you if you went outside the
Yes,
hospital.
if you got too close, they would stab you.
They would stab you. It's like,
And that was really all they did.
yeah. Except for at the end, they get in the house. They get in the hospital. Just that stupid thing at the end where like the one nurse that's left is like running from them and they're like dragging the axe on the ground. I fucking hate that. Like everyone's done that. Just move on. Stupid fucking movie.
It was.
Let's see. So a basic thing of the plot. Apparently, this cop picks up this guy that he thinks is like a tweaker on the side of the road, brings him to a hospital, where is it his wife? Are they divorced?
He mentioned, he says wife.
Yeah, but it seems like they've been separated. I guess they've been separated.
They've been separated for quite a while, at least.
Yeah, and there's this whole thing with like they had a kid, but the kid died, and I guess that's what tore them apart.
Right.
Whatever. Brings the guy in. They strap him to a bed, and then weird shit starts happening. There's this whole stupid part where the nurse is like killing another patient, and there's another cop shows up and is like, he must have given her something, this tweaker guy that they brought in. But they immediately
they immediately drugged him.
Yeah, they like sedate him,
but somehow he was able to slip a drug to the nurse.
Yeah, he gave her something.
Was the explanation for why she was killing him.
Well, they found him and he was just covered with PCP, and like she was like
drenched in it.
Just like got into her skin. And then it just kind of like stuff starts happening, and then they have to go find like the doctor. Turns out the doctor guy is like behind all this shit, and they have to go find him, but he's in the void, which they never actually say the void.
Calls it the abyss.
The astral gate.
The astral gate.
The something else.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Just a whole book of synonyms for the void.
So where did they come up with the void for the title? Like that makes no sense. And there's like half of his scenes are like it's filmed from behind, and he's like, I guess taking his face off or something.
Yeah, and it never explains like why.
Yeah.
Like
it's just
because the nurse at the beginning, she had done the same thing.
Yeah.
But there's never any explanation as to why they're taking their faces off.
I guess like there's something inside of them that's trying to get out, and they're doing all this like. Nothing in this was tense. There was no tense moments. Like there's the part where they're going out to get the shotgun out of the police car, which magically gets out into the woods.
Yeah, they moved it from right out in front.
I don't know if we missed
tree line.
Yeah, and like that's supposed to be tense. Like they're supposed to be getting it, but the cultists are coming, and it's just like you're just sitting there watching it. You know,
yeah,
it's just the worst. The part where they go down into like the surgery room where all the corpse things are that are like trying to kill themselves, but started the fire that burnt down the hospital. Like, it looked good, but it was just like, meh.
Yeah.
You know?
It would have been like maybe have more of them in it
Yeah.
throughout the whole movie instead of one room, you know, almost towards the end of the movie.
Yeah. Or like maybe it's like a regular hospital. It's not some hospital in some podunk town that has like 2 people at it.
It had, yeah, what, there were 4 employees.
Yeah,
and
running
was
this
a
one
trainer.
hospital. But what if it's like a regular hospital and like someone finds like these corpse things wandering around down in like the morgue or whatever at night? What, you know, you could do some stupid plot like that. There's so many different things that you could have made this movie better with, and they didn't take any of those routes.
They went with a little bit of this movie, a little bit of that movie, threw them all together
It was,
with just a touch of Stargate at the very end.
yeah. It was, to me, it was too serious. Like, the source material, you should like treat it seriously, but like whenever everyone's like thinking it's like the most realistic thing or like the most horrible thing, like I don't know, like, and then paired with the visuals, like, you could have had some fun with this movie, and it's like they were being pretentious assholes whenever they were making their stupid Lovecraft movie. Like, I want a Cthulhu movie so bad, and no one seems to be able to make it.
This might be the closest you'll get.
I'm gonna have to just make our own damn movie. Make our own Cthulhu movie.
That's what's coming to.
We'll call it Squid's Revenge. Return of the Squid.